Good day. Welcome to SimTrain Webinar. Let's start off with a basic introduction of SimTrain. SimTrain is a cloud-based management system that is designed to cater the needs of learning centers. So what is cloud? Cloud is just a metaphor for the internet. Basically, SimTrain works online, which means it requires internet connection to run. No installation needed. So why cloud? First of all, you can reduce IT costs where you don't need an IT guy to set it all up for you, or even installation that probably would cost you half of your profit already. All you need is a good internet connection. Paste the link of the SimTrain system on your web browser and you are good to go. Next, it is real-time based, which means any updates you made on the system will take effect immediately. Other than that, SimTrain system also will be updated automatically where your system will be up to date. Plus, system maintenance will be provided as well. On another note, you get to improve your working performance with increment of productivity. With cloud, as long as you are connected to the internet, you get to view how your center is doing without having to stick to your office desktop. Just bring around your mobile device and you get to view all in one. Security-wise, currently we are using Ubuntu Linux server. It is a secure operating system and used worldwide. Ubuntu is a virus-proof operating system and it will perform daily update for bug fix. Besides, we keep minimum services offered in each server in order to reduce the vulnerability and load. In cloud, it will be further protected by firewall. So, do these problems look familiar to you? I bet they are. Many of learning centers facing difficulties in managing their operation because they are just not sure on where to begin in the very first place. Now let's see what SimTrain really is. SimTrain Learning Center Management System software is a total software solution which is designed to address the unique needs of tuition centers, kindergarten, music schools, and other education centers. Generally, SimTrain helps in managing operation effectively as it automates every single process. So you'll get to do your work in faster pace and consequently will generate higher income. But why SimTrain? First of all, as mentioned earlier, SimTrain does not require any installation. Furthermore, SimTrain can be accessed everywhere and anytime as long as you are connected to internet. You may also use your mobile device, such as your smartphone, to access your SimTrain system right on the street. On the other hand, if you have any technical issue arises, our support team is always there to assist. Now let's take a look at what will be covered in this webinar. We will be showing you the basic interface of SimTrain, where you will get to see how SimTrain looks like up close. Then you will be shown the process flow of students' registration of how students' information is recorded. Next, you will see on how SimTrain manages and schedule up your classes and subjects. After that, you will be shown on how payment is handled in SimTrain. Also, you will get to see how SimTrain manages transportation service at your center and processing exam results. As for management analysis, you will see a variety of reports and widgets that would definitely aid you in viewing your center's performance overall. Let's begin. To first log in, you will have to insert your username and also your password, in which you have the authority to set it up later. So once you're in, on top right of the screen, you will see a drop-down selection which shows the organization account that you have. Organization here could be defined as branches or franchisee. If you have more than one, it will be listed once it's clicked, and your access to each of the organization depends on the permission. The interface here is called as dashboard, and the boxes here are called widgets. Widgets are designed to make it much more convenient for you to monitor your center's performance. One of it is collection versus payment widget, where you get to see the payment trend from the chart here. Also, we have outstanding payment widget that lists out student who has pending fees. On the other hand, there is absent student widget that lists out absentees of the day. And then we have unregistered students widget that shows the student who is not yet to be registered to any class or subject. Birthday student widget displays a list of students who have birthday on that particular day. Video widget stores a list of video guidance that we strongly suggest user to watch every single video to learn in depth on how to conduct some processes. Draft receipt widget lists out receipts which are not completed yet. And last but not least is shortcut icon widget that stores important shortcuts that helps in everyday transaction. All of these widgets can be found in widget settings here. You just click on the widgets that you need on dashboard and click Save Changes. On top left, there are 6 round buttons with respective functions. The first one right here is a homepage icon that when you are on different page and you would like to access the home page, just click on this tiny guy. Next to it is master data icon. This icon stores important database that you need to key in prior to begin any transaction. Then we have transaction icon, where it stores important functions to conduct transactions such as payment. The fourth icon is called as reports, in which when you click, it will divert you to all sorts of reports for analysis purpose. Then we also have flow guide icon that provides guidelines for beginner to start off. You only need to follow the steps given by the tabs here. Last but not least is notification icon. If there is any enhancement made to the system or announcement to be made, this icon will pop up notification. Now let's take a look at the process flow of students' registration. First of all, we need to have students' information recorded in the system. Click on the student icon in shortcut widget and you will be diverted to add or edit student page. So there are input fields here and the compulsory ones are name and standard. As for standard, you would have to define it prior to create student profile. Also, you may take snapshot of the student or even upload a ready image. When you're done, click Save. Save and Add New is very useful when you are inserting a whole lot of students' data where it provides new form to be filled out. Save and Go to Payment, on the other hand, is to directly register a student with classes or subject and issuing receipt for him or her right after you created the student's profile. However, you would have to create subject and classes before you do so. Now that we have created student's profile, let's take a look on the flow process of class management. So just now I have mentioned that before we register a student with class, we need to create the class itself. Click class management icon and here's where you're going to create the classes for scheduling purpose. You need to have the class code that represents the class name. And then select the subject of the class which you need to create prior to creating class. This will be shown later on. Venue is the place where the class is going to be conducted at. If you have more than one organization, then the venue will determine the availability of the class. For example, I have 2 branches which are B1 and B2, and the class that I'm going to create will be available in B1. Hence, B1 is selected. Period is the month of when the class is going to be conducted. And first of all, you need to define the period before you create the class. Tutor is the person in charge who is responsible to teach the class. Tutor also needs to be created prior to creating class, and let's say you don't have the tutor yet, you just press the plus icon and it will bring you to add or edit employee page to add in teacher's profile. The compulsory input fields are name, identification card number, and also date of birth. When you're done, click Save. Let's go back to add or edit tuition class. So group here is to create class for a specific group. For example, there are 2 chemistry classes going on at the same time. So in order to group them, you may do so by creating separate classes like that. It really depends on how you would like to group your students. So if you like to do grouping, you need to create the groups first by pressing Add Group button and create the group. Then class type here allows you to determine whether your class is conducted once or twice a week, every day, or not fixed. Then you will have to determine the hours and also the start time. And click Save for the final step. Once we have created the class, we can view it in a form of schedule. On home page, there is class scheduling icon. So when you click on it, you will see class calendar where it displays classes in their respective timeline. It comes in two versions, which you can show the classes based on tutor and also a room of where the class is conducted. Best part of it, you can create class directly from here. Just drag the timeline and release, then insert the details to create class. You can also replace student from one class to another. Click on the class which the student would like to be replaced to and right-click. Select Replace In and select the student's name and choose the class that the student would like to be replaced from. When you hover your cursor over the class, you will see the replacement details of the student. Another function that you could utilize from this calendar is Open Class Schedule, where you get to replace tutor in a particular class. Right-click and click Open Class Schedule. There will be a situation where tutor is on immediate leave and requires another tutor to replace. Therefore, this function right here helps you to change the tutor in charge of the day. As mentioned earlier, prior to creating class, you will need to create subjects for it. Go to Master Data, where database is stored up in Primary Master Data, then click Add or Edit Product and Subject. Product number here is like a code that represents the name of the subject or product. Here in product name, you just need to insert the name of the subject. Category here classifies what type of product you created, and it shall be created prior to creating subject or product. Press the hyperlink and you will be diverted to Add or Edit category. Categories should be in three types, which are class, charge, and also control stock. For subject, the category must be in class if you would like to implement attendance, or else system will capture your subjects as any other products. Let's go back to Add or Edit Product and Subject. Select the category, and the standard is students level such as beginner and intermediate. Add more standard with this hyperlink. Then proceed with the standard amount of the subject per unit. Select tax, if any, and also take repeat when cloned to automate the charge every month. As for products, you may insert the purchase costs, save level quantity, and top up target level quantity. Save level quantity is the minimum quantity of stock, and top up level quantity is stock quantity that should be topped up. After all of the insertions, save the record. Now that subjects and classes are created, registration and payment would be the next step. Click Sales and Payment, select the student's name, and at this stage, it's not considered as payment yet, as receipt is not created. We call it as registration phase. Then click Add New Subject. This is to register a student to a class. Classes on current period will be shown automatically right here. But if you have created classes in advanced period, you may search the classes with the filters here. Then tick Register and Save. If student would like to purchase item, click Add New Item button, select the product, and click Add On. Next, when students would like to make payment, click Create Payment, and then click plus icon here for the item that the student would like to pay, and insert the amount received from the student, or you may just click Pay All. And down here there are 4 buttons, which are Update, Cancel, Delete, and Complete. Update is to save changes you made on the receipt. Cancel is to cancel out the receipt if you make mistakes, such as assigning to wrong student. Delete is to delete the receipt permanently, and Complete is to confirm the receipt. Click Complete Receipt and the receipt will be generated in PDF version. So this is the PDF version of the receipt. Now, are you ready to see how attendance is captured? In SimTrain, there are 2 ways to take students' attendance, which are manually and automatically. To capture students' attendance manually, you may go to Reports, and then click Management Report, and click on Class Attendance Checklist. Or you may search from the class at Add or Edit Addition Class, search for the class, and start taking attendance from here. Save attendance and click Preview. Then you may preview the attendance in PDF and print it out. So this is the PDF version of the attendance. Attendance can also be captured automatically and works fine with RFID card and RFID card reader. Go to Take Attendance icon and tap the card on the reader, and the class of the student will appear as such. Even tutor's attendance can be captured here if you wish so. If you don't have the card, you can select a student's or tutor's name from the drop-down selection box and click Save Attendance. You can always check back the attendance history of your students with provided reports. Just go to Management Report and click Student Attendance History. Just key in student's name, select the date, and click Preview. You will see the class that student has attended with the default start time. For those of you who implement transportation service at your learning center, sorting out students with transport is not an easy task. SimTrain provides you features that would help you to assign students with their respective transportation and also to generate a pickup list. Assigning transportation to students in SimTrain takes place at registration phase. You have to select the student's name. And if you notice, when you register the student with class, there are a few checkboxes next to register checkbox. If the student requires to be picked up and dropped to, just tick the boxes. And also here you have to select where the transport will be picking up the student from and drop to, and then save. As usual, prior to the process, you need to key in few databases. So first you need to key in the vehicles that are going to be used to pick up and drop the student. So go to Master Data, Secondary Master Data, and go to Add or Edit Vehicle. So this is where you're going to insert the data of the vehicles that you have. So insert the vehicle code, the driver, who is the person in charge going to drive the transport, and then save. After that, you need to key in the area of where your transportation service will be covered. This is to group the students based on the area they live in. So go to secondary master data and click add or edit area. So you need to key in the area name and the description if any, and after that assign the area to the student's address. So go to student's profile and search for his profile, edit his info, and key in the database of his address. And don't forget to assign area to his address. Click Save. Once you are done with the database, you may register the student with the class and assign transport. For example, this student is going to be attending a chemistry class and my driver will be picking him up from his place with a bus, and he will be dropped off to the same place with bus as well. So I'm going to take register, suspension, comment to, and save. Now let's generate the pickup list. Go to report, management report, and click transport pickup list. So you need to filter by the date, the transport type, whether this student is picked up from or be dropping off to. So I'm going to choose both, and the vehicle I'm going to pick bus, and click generate pickup report. The list will classify the students as such, where the student will be grouped to the method of transportation they chose. Right now, I'm going to show you how to generate exam or test results with SimTrain. Processing exam results is always a tiring process if it's done manually, especially when it comes to grading. Before we can actually generate examination results, there are some things we need to preset, which are the grades in a graded exam. First of all, you have to configure the grades based on the student's level. So you need to go to master data, secondary master data, and go to add or edit grade standard. So for example, here I have divided the grades to primary school level and secondary school level. After that, you need to insert the marks range for grading purpose. So you have to insert the marks from and marks to, the grade and grade point. Grade point here is similar to CGPA, and after you're done, you click Save. Next, you need to assign those grades that you have preset to their respective level or standard. Go to master data, secondary master data, and go to add or edit standard. So you need to assign the level or standard with the grade standard that you have preset, and then save. Afterwards, you have to create an examination session to set a particular time of when the test is going to be taken place. You may create based on semesters, morning or afternoon session, or any kinds that you wish. So you go to examination session in primary master data, and I have a few samples here. As such, I have divided morning session into two. Later, you have to create the exam or test based on the class that you have. So you're going to transaction and go to tuition class and search for the class. For example, chemistry class will be having a test next week. So now I'm going to search the class on the list and add a test to it. And also select necessary information, insert a test name. For example, I'm going to put in with semester 1, and then the date, and the tutor in charge, the session, and also the grade standard. And I'm going to click Save. Once saved, you will need to key in the marks that the student have gotten from the test to the result input field. and then click Save again. And when you save the changes you made, system will display the result or the grade of the student based on the data preset. Results can be obtained at Student Results slip. Let's go to Reports, Management Report, and go to Student Results slip. And you need to filter by the student or the session. And this is the PDF version of the results slip. Last but not least, the reports and widgets that are useful for analysis purpose. On the home page, there are widgets that will help you to review the overall performance of your center. One of it is Collection versus Payment widget. This widget displays the charts that represent the collection you have made from the student versus the sales that you made. And then there's Absent Student widget, where you get to review the absent students and you get to send SMS directly to their parents to inform that their kids are not present to class today. And from Outstanding Payment, you may view the pending payment from students. And then there's Draft Receipt, where you get to monitor the receipt that is still in draft mode. As for the reports, they are classified into 3 groups, which are Management Report, Accounting Report, and Employee Reports. So generally, Management Report is kind of report that displays your center's management performance. You may pull out attendance, results slip, and transport pickup list from here. And for Accounting Report is the report that displays the financial performance of your center. So Daily Payment Receipt Report is a report that displays the payment that you received today, and it is limited to current user only. It means that the report will not show the collection made by other users than you, so other users will only get to see theirs. Fees Collection Report by Student is a report that will display the collection made from students. And since this report displays the collection made by all users, management team may have to limit up the permission to certain users only. It will separate the amount by tax, where you will be able to see the full amount and also the taxable amount. Outstanding Payment Summary Report, on the other hand, is quite unique, as you may send SMS directly to parents to remind about the pending payment and even print out the statement to be emailed to them. Employee Reports stores up the reports that represents employees' performance. One of it is Employee Punch Card, where you may view the punch card history of your employee, and also Tutor Attendance Report that displays the classes and time of when the tutors attend their respective classes. If the tutor is late, then it will show up here on how late the tutor is to attend a particular class. So that is all we got in store, and we hope that this webinar will encourage you to have a better management for your learning center. We believe that to break through, effective management is the key. All the best, and thank you for staying with us till the end. For inquiries and comments, you may send to cs01@simmitgroup.com. Feel free to try out SimTrain 30 days free trial and be ready to experience SimTrain effect. Have a nice day.